I always do that. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go up past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire.
What is going on, bookworms, and welcome back to another episode of Bookmarks with Bump. Coming to you live from the land before time, I am your host, Sean Patrick Cote, aka Bump, aka Shondis, aka I am who I say I am. Some monumental things have happened since the last time I actually talked into a microphone. You've heard a few episodes over the course of the last couple of weeks that were all banked before my March 16th birthday. And I think that's the last birthday I'm going to celebrate for a while. Moving forward, I figure at this point, I'm old enough to kind of just celebrate by the decade. I just turned 31, so I will remain 40. I will remain 31 until I'm 40 years old. That's first things first. Secondly, I'm a little bit fired up right now, coming off of a euphoric, wet and wild 9-mile run after work this morning. I went out and did my long run. I trekked 9 miles along the Farmington River Trail from the airport all the way over the Farmington River, all the way over Big Bird. If you know Big Bird, if you're from the Northwest Connecticut region and ever ventured east towards Hartford, you more than likely took Route 4 to go through Farmington. And if that's the case, then you probably know the Big Bird Bridge that's constantly graffitied year after year by the graduating class of Farmington High School. Very cool. Very cool that the Farmington police do not get disturbed by that. It's a cool tradition that carries on year after year, and I've watched it ever since a child. And now as an adult, I'm watching the kids carry the tradition and carry the torch, and it's such a beautiful sight to see. And honestly, it's very empowering to run over. Um, today's run was today's run was a major test of will. Um, 9 miles, the furthest I've ran since probably October, November, training for my 10K, and that was really the last race that I ran in. Just training leading into this half marathon that is now approaching fast. I think I'm about 6 weeks out. This week was the 6th week in my training camp, and things are going smoothly. Um, Speed training has been a little bit up and down. I feel a little bit of a lingering tightness in my left calf. That's something that I've been able to roll out and kind of not deal with the symptoms, but I need to look into it further to make sure that I'm not dealing with some sort of tendonitis or soft sprain, soft tissue injury. Um, I'm excited tonight to go to the kinesiologist, my boy, Fizz Funk, uh, the guru, Eli, and see what he has to say when he's giving me the feels, running me through a passive stretch. And this is a service that I need to recommend to any and everybody. I implore you to go and get stretched. First of all, I implore you to stretch every single day, even if you're not a physically active person like I am. Even if it's just a little bit of quads, lats, shoulders, the typical stretches. I think it's important to stay limber and avoid those muscular imbalances that we can grow through day-to-day life. So, moving on, where am I now? I am sitting in a new studio space. It's quite spacious. I'm very pleased with the living quarters these days. I have now fully moved in to my apartment. Um, I moved about 30 minutes away from the place that I called home for my entire life, and there's really been no adjustment period. I've been so wrapped up in the hustle and bustle of everything that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis that I really haven't seemed to notice what's going on. I'm excited for Good Friday uh, in the next couple weeks here, so I could actually have the first bit of time off that I've had since the winter. And it's going to kind of open and develop into more me time throughout the spring and summer. I really just buckled in, locked in, and did everything that I had to do over the winter to kind of push my life forward, improving credit scores, uh, improving credit scores, moving out, staying up on everything. I got all 4 new tires on my car. I'm doing all of those. Um, I'm doing all of those adult things, not the fun, wild, adventurous stuff that I usually get into when it comes to the extracurricular activities outside of work because I have work the next day. So I'm just kind of focused on my responsibilities and moving forward and doing what I have to do. Uh, Moving on from that, it's kind of, and we can kind of transition into work for a little bit here. I've got about 200 hours left in my apprenticeship, and that means that I've been at it for a couple years. Um, in reality, I had some hours taken away when they started my apprenticeship because I was underneath a company apprenticeship until they opened up a state apprenticeship for the trade that I'm in. So what that means is I kind of worked a little bit for experience. Some people would say for nothing, but honestly, looking back on it in hindsight, all it was experience, hands on experience to kind of propel me into the next level of what I'm doing at my job. Um, and by using that perspective, I've been able to propel myself in the company that I'm working for. That's been super beneficial for me and for those around me who are bought in. If you're having a hard time at work, I want you to think of it as athletics. As corny, as weird, as lame as that may sound, I think it's a way that you can get the teammate philosophy dialed in. Everywhere you go, everywhere you interview, every job you have, they'll talk to you about the team. We work as a team. We work as a team. You will never see that. However, if you take pride in your contribution, if you give some fist pumps when you get through a hard setup, if you get through a hard task, and you celebrate like you just scored a touchdown, you are going to bring enthusiasm to every single aspect of that job. And people will notice that. People might call you lame. And if that's the case, those people don't belong there. You don't have to pay attention to that. You don't have to seek validation from anybody else. A person who's properly grounded in life doesn't have to. Shout out John Cena. I want to get into some threads here. I really do, but I did just kind of want to go over what's been going on here. This is a beautiful little neighborhood here, and today on a rainy day, it's nice, it's quiet. I've been here for 2 weekends now, and I haven't heard any crazy noises. I actually fell asleep Thursday night with my apartment door unlocked, and I woke up alone. Um, not in a sad way. I woke up alone, non-intruded upon. So that was pretty. Um, I guess it's not eye-opening, but I guess comforting to know that nobody's really breaking into my stuff here. So I'm safe. I'm sound. I'm happy. I have peace in my life. A very strange amount of peace that I'm still getting accustomed to. I think part of the reason why I was so drawn into running is that my life, for the duration of it, had always been chaotic. And as I was looking to find a place to ground myself and land my feet properly, I didn't know where that would be. I didn't know what that looked like, to be honest with you. Um, and so I took to running, and I had this passion for it, this burning passion for it that keeps me moving forward and keeps me running, keeps me going. And I think part of that is because I've always been comfortable in the chaos. And really, that's what running is. You have to find a way to make yourself comfortable in very uncomfortable situations in life. And on a day to day basis, I did that by finding running. And right now, I have peace for the first time in, I guess I could say, 31 years. I've been tuned in, I've been aware of how chaotic things are only for about half of my life. But at this point, uh, I realized that it was my whole life. And I was just accustomed to things. As a young child, you don't really realize what life is supposed to be. And as you grow old, even at the age of 31, at the ancient age of 31, the tried and true, the tested 31 years old, the 31 years that I've walked this earth, I realize that nobody ever really has it figured out. There is no real way about life. We're all just navigating these uncharted waters and doing what it takes to feel the success, feel the self-validation, feel the accomplishment from your contributions. Um, and just kind of tying myself to the things that I talked about a couple weeks ago on the podcast, that contribution, that focus on your contribution, that has been a major part of what is keeping me going, keeping me happy, keeping me striving for more. I'm making a contribution every day. Um, oh, and that brings me to I'm pretty sure Jacob has dialed in my gym schedule. I got a second microphone here a couple of weeks ago. Guitar Center is about 10 minutes away from my apartment. So I moseyed on in there one day and I picked up a microphone, and I would love to get some guests on the podcast. Um, Leave a couple comments as far as who or what you would like to hear, and I'll do my best to reach out to people to get them on the show. But I really want an opportunity to sit down with Jacob on the podcast and let you guys hear from the man himself who this guy is. He's definitely dialed in my gym schedule because it seems like the last 2 weeks we've worked out every single time I've been in the gym together. And I've had some rough days at work dealing with the things that are going on. And right after work, I clock out, I go right to the gym and clock in. And he's there, and all of the stress of the day melts away when I see Jacob because he's always so happy and ready to work and ready to go. He's bought in. He wants to learn, and it's really kind of given me fuel. And you got to find fuel no matter where you can in life. Which leads me into the first thread, and it's all about Darren Sproles. We got free agency. The free agency frenzy is really at a top notch right now in the NFL. Quarterbacks are being flung around. Sam Darnold went to the Seahawks. Aaron Rodgers is still in a dark hole. And Darren Sproles, he's retired. However, he was somebody who broke the mold of what a NFL player should be. At the 2005 NFL Combine, Darren Sproles stood as they measured his height, 5'6". When they measured his height, GMs and coaches laughed. Then they announced his weight, 170 pounds, and they laughed even harder. That night, he called his dad and he said they laughed. That moment changed everything. This is a thread by Coach A.J. Kings. Mental fitness. The thread goes on to say his dad didn't console him. He simply said, "You know what you need to do then." Darren responded, "I'm going to make sure they know who I am." NFL analyst Daniel Jeremiah was there that day, and he remembers what happened next. Jeremiah said, "That can be a really embarrassing moment. Most players would drop their heads, not Sproles." He said he looked everyone in the eye. He sat there and waited for them to extend it down lower so they could get to his height. That moment showed character. Despite the doubts, Sproles was drafted in the 4th round by the Chargers. He said, "I wanted to be remembered as the player who gave everything he had, and he earned it and worked for it every day." He became one of the best all-purpose running backs in the NFL, backing up none other than LaDainian Tomlinson. Darren Sproles said, "Whenever someone tells me I can't do something, I'm going to work extremely hard to prove to you that I can do something." The first takeaway is you can't measure heart, resilience, or self-belief. The second takeaway is confidence comes from within, not from validation. I love when whatever I'm just talking about comes out in the next thread as if I planned it. There are no such thing as coincidence. The content and idea for this story comes from his draft story video below. It's a great watch for all parents, coaches, and athletes. The quote from Daniel Jeremiah came from an interview with him at the Dallas Morning News. If you enjoyed this post, then you will love the free newsletter. So check in with Coach A.J. Kings. He's a mental fitness coach, and he's a stud, just like Darren Sproles was. Darren Sproles had a long career. He spanned from the Chargers all the way over to the Eagles, and he played with some pretty legendary teams. He played with some pretty legendary players. And Darren Sproles himself was a rocket, man. The way he would fly around on the field, he was so quick. He was so elusive. And part of that was due to his size. His size was actually an advantage. The thing that the coaches laughed at worked out to be a huge piece of what benefited everybody, everybody on the team, in more specifically himself. He was able to show people who he was by what he put out on the field. And he didn't need validation from anybody else. He focused on his contribution, and he made huge contributions. He gave LaDainian Tomlinson a chance to come off and sit on the bench for a couple plays and come back in with fresh legs. When you have a player like LaDainian Tomlinson, you look at him like a workhorse. You look at him like a Ezekiel Elliott when he first got drafted, or a Saquon Barkley, where you can give the guy 30 carries a game. But you give LaDainian Tomlinson 20 carries a game and see what he can do with fresh legs. You saw what happened. 17 touchdown seasons, rushing records. The guy's, I'm pretty sure he's in the top 5 list of all-time rushing yards for a running back. So LaDainian Tomlinson had a great career, and he can thank Darren Sproles for that. Darren Sproles can also thank never giving up for being the player that he was. I mean, you're looking at every single person who has a choice, a decision in the rest of your life, laughing at you, and he said, "No, I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm not gonna quit on this." Another person who didn't quit was Nate Robinson. Brandon Harris put out a nice thread about Nate Robinson, the famous short New York Knicks player. I need a sponsorship from Poland Springs. Nonetheless, Nate Robinson, who was also, I believe, 5'6", went on to win NBA slam dunk contests. Went on to get knocked out by Jake Paul. But before that, he played for 11 years in the NBA with a condition that should have killed him. Team doctors begged him to stop playing. His response, he told them to stop testing him. Here's why Nate Robinson was secretly the toughest player in NBA history. At just 5'9", Nate Robinson was already defying odds in the NBA. He became the only player to win the slam dunk contest 3 times. In 2009, he dressed as Crypto Nate. He leaped over a 6'11" Dwight Howard, who, but 3 years before that, he was given, what is that sentence? In 2009, dressed as Crypto Nate, he leaped over a 6'11" Dwight Howard. But 3 years before that, he was given some life-changing news. Team doctor Lisa Callahan discovered his blood pressure was dangerously high. Tests revealed his kidneys were failing. She warned him his kidney function would be deteriorating by his late 30s. So Nate said the most logical thing that would keep him playing: "Don't check my blood pressure, because I'm playing in the game regardless of what you say." He locked the diagnosis deep inside and kept playing. And here's what happened behind the scenes. I never knew this during his career. Between games, Nate would be violently ill. He'd spend days in the hospital, throwing up uncontrollably. His body was breaking down, but after each hospital stay, he'd come out feeling better than ever and return to the court. The physical toll was devastating. He had severe cramping during game, dangerous blood pressure spikes, episodes of violent illness. But the mental toll, that was even worse. "I felt like I was Superman," he admitted. I never thought I would get sick." He tried to lock it down deep and just live his life. But his determination to keep playing came at a devastating cost. By 2018, his kidneys had completely failed. He needed dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours each session. The transformation was heartbreaking, but even through his struggle, he showed his full power. He turned his pain into purpose. He partnered with the National Kidney Foundation, created the Crypto Nate line to fund kidney research, and amazingly, despite his condition, he was still trying to push his body to the limit. He stepped into the boxing ring with Jake Paul. Few knew he was fighting not just Paul, but a devastating illness. Even at this point, when he fought Jake Paul, I had no idea this was going on. The thread goes on to say the result was heartbreaking. The fight just lasted 1 minute and 35 seconds into the second round. Paul knocked Robinson down 3 times before the final knockout. What fans didn't know was that Robinson's kidneys were already failing. He needed dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours each session. Even after the loss, his fighting spirit remained unbroken. "I'd love to get back in there once I find a kidney donor," he said in 2024. That's the thing about Nate. He never stopped believing. And then, in February 2025, a miracle occurred. After an overwhelming response from potential donors, Nate received a successful kidney transplant at the University of Washington Medical Center. His faith and resilience had carried him through. He showed that size doesn't matter, that heart can't be measured, that sometimes the biggest battles are fought in silence, and most importantly, tough times never last, but tough people do. I'm getting goosebumps, man. Today, Nate's legacy isn't just about basketball. It's about showing that with enough determination, you can overcome anything, even when the odds seem impossible. You're going to find that a lot in your life where the odds seem impossible. So many things are stacked up against you, whether it's your career, whether it's a goal you have outside of work. Doesn't matter how long it takes you. We're talking about a guy who fought an illness for almost 20 years before he got a donor. And despite fighting illness, despite hospital stays in between athletic endeavors, he never strayed away from what carried him into life, what carried him and gave him purpose. That was being a dog. I mean, without any way to put it. Nate Robinson was, is, and always will be a dog because of the fact that he didn't listen. He didn't listen to what people said to him. He didn't care about that. He knew that he could fight through. And knowing is half of the battle. Believing, not knowing, believing is more than half the battle, to be honest with you. If you want something in life, if you believe that you're going to get it, you're more than halfway there. Now it's just about navigating your path to make it. Break some rules. Bend some rules. So that's what it's going to take. In order to achieve goals, you're going to have to defy some laws, laws of physics, laws of gravity, especially for Nate Robinson, a 5'9" guy, jumping over a 6'11" guy. That's, what are we talking about here? That shouldn't be physically possible. He defied the laws. There are some laws, the most famous laws in the world. It was a little pictograph put out by Upskill Your Life, and I figured we'd go over them here because, you know me, I love breaking the law, so let's see how many of these I broke. Number 1 is Murphy's Law. We all know this one. The more you fear something happening, the more likely it is to occur. Some would call that manifestation. Some would call that creating your own destiny. Me, I just call that silly. I did this a lot, even up until recently. I did this a lot, thinking about the bad things that could happen. Oh, this could happen. This could happen. This could. Now I say, whatever. Why not try? What's the worst that could happen? Not thinking of the worst thing happening, but asking myself, what is the worst thing that could happen? I mean, I'm still here standing, so obviously the things that I've gotten into haven't been that bad. You have Kydland's Law. If you write a problem down clearly and specifically, you have solved half of it. Now, that's kind of exactly what I was just talking about. If you believe you can get there, that's more than half of getting there. And this is it too. Because if you can write down a problem, you can write down a solution. Gilbert's Law is when you take on a task, finding the best ways to achieve the desired result is always your responsibility. This is awesome because I had a conversation with my brother about this not too long ago. And I told him that as a man, we can't just be done with a job whenever we're, quote, done with a job, unquote. Just because you're sick of it doesn't mean that you're done, doesn't mean that you're completed. You have to go all the way through, especially if it's part of your trade. You have a title. So people respect and people expect you to do what that title is called upon. So if you're a mechanic, you're supposed to fix it. If you're a tool setter, you're supposed to get it running. If you're a tool maker, you're supposed to build it. So on and so forth. Yes, things are going to get difficult. In life, there's always going to be difficulties. No matter how easily it's written down on paper, no matter what, there's always something, some type of muck you have to navigate through. Just get through it. And it's going to take time from time to time. It's going to take effort from time to time. It's going to be strenuous from time to time. But you took on a task. Are you bought in? Are you a team player? Because if you are, when you take on that task is yours. Handle it. Manhandle it. Make success your bitch in that moment. Wilson's Law. If you prioritize knowledge and intelligence, money will continue to come. Knowledge is power. Power is money in this day and age, as much as I hate to say it. However, it's true. The more I've learned at my job, the more I've been able to earn. Becoming a specialist in certain tools has helped me earn a special rate of pay. And all I did was learn. That's not to make it sound simple, but that's really all I did was learn. Take the time to dive in completely. And what do I get? Now I go from diving into the knowledge pool to diving into the pool of money. And then you have Falkland's Law. If you don't have to make a decision about something, then don't decide. And this is my favorite. This is my favorite right now. When you work or when you're in a group of people, you're going to have people who are outside of the decision-making pool saying this should have been done and that should have been done. This should have been done. Why didn't they do it this way? Why didn't they do it that way? Well, it wasn't your decision to make, but it is your solution to find. If they lay out a plan for you, follow the plan. And if it doesn't work out the way they expected it to, observe and report. The decision will change. Don't worry about these decisions that are being made. Worry about your contribution to the decision and then move on from there. When you are a part of a company, you're not the manager, you're not the engineer, you're not the president. You're not going to be able to make these decisions. So let it slide back. Let these people decide and let them see where the chips fall. It's sometimes it's more simple than it sounds, but this is a tough thing that people get caught in a lot. And I feel like if more people just follow Falkland's Law, there'd be a lot more peace and happiness on a day-to-day basis. I think this is one thing that really hems people up is, oh, why did they do it this way? Why did they do it that way? I had a mentor when I first got into tool setting, and he taught me, one of the only things he ever taught me was a very valuable lesson. And it's a motto. It's a mantra. And the more I say this to myself, the more I'm able to just focus on my tasks instead of the things going on around me. Yes, there could be a room full of fire and a dog sitting there saying, this is fine. But most of the times I'm that dog, by the way. But I didn't make the decision. I'm making actions. My actions are being seen. I'm making my contribution. I'm proud of my contributions. That's really all that matters. I'm focused on my task. I'm focused on the task ahead of me. That's all I need to focus on. I wasn't asked to make decisions. I was asked to do something, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, okay, we move on and we try something new. But if you don't follow Falkland's Law and you're too concerned about the decisions being made before you even start making a contribution, you're never going to be proud of your contributions. So, do your job, as Bill Belichick would say. The last thread I'm going to go over is by They Cherifadine. What a sick name. At 22, he thought he had time. But by 32, he learned the hard way. Time is the only thing you can't get back. Here's what I wish I'd known a decade ago. And I tell you what, in a couple of weeks here, I'll do one of these threads myself because I've learned a lot over the last 10 years. And I'd love to share it with all of you. Number 1, thinking solves nothing and action changes everything. Just went over that. Number 2, comparing your journey to others will paralyze you. Focus on your own path. Comparison is the theft of joy. A quote from the greatest president of all time, Theodore Roosevelt. I wonder how he feels about the Panama Canal. Number 3, your circle will make or break you. Choose people who challenge you. Number 4, assume the person you're listening to knows something you don't, because they often do. Some of these, I don't know if you could audibly hear me smiling, but it reminds me of many people that I know. They're like the people who think they know everything, so they stop listening to you. You got to have ears to hear in this world, man. Number 5, your 20s are free time you can never get back. Spend it building, not drifting. Shout out Tokyo. Number 6, skills will pay for your dreams. Start learning before it's too late. Man, I wish I knew this. I was chasing dreams a lot during my early 20s. A lot of my dreams were actually nightmares, come to find out. However, if I was now back then, if I was where I am now, what a great idea. Be a broadcaster when you have a hard time speaking from time to time. Nonetheless, skills will pay for your dreams. Start learning before it's too late. That's one of the things that I really hang my hat on with my job. Like at the end of the day, I'll complete my apprenticeship. I'll take on the roles that they hand me at work. I will do them diligently. But it's all for other reasons. I mean, my job is a career. It's a career that I'm very proud of. It's a career that I'm proud to have and take home with me and carry on a day-to-day basis and be able to say, this is what I am, this is what I do, this is who I am to the company. However, I do know that what it's really doing for me is providing me more resources than I ever would have had 10 years ago to chase my dreams when the time comes. There's still an opportunity for me to move forward and follow my lifelong dream of being a sports broadcaster. And a lot of that is due to the fact that I have more resources now to help me get there. I mean, I went to long story short, I tried to get into a broadcasting program, didn't have the credit score to be able to get the privatized loans, wasn't able to do it at the time. And now, by following my career path, taking on these skills, learning everything that I've learned over the past couple years, building my credit, and getting myself into the position that I am now, I'm more able to do those things. I'm more able to get accepted for loans. I'm more able to put myself in the position that I've always wanted to be in. And as time goes on, I will continue to move forward in that path. Number 7, say yes to life in your 20s and say no to distractions in your 30s. In those 10 years, you'll learn the difference between the two. Your 20s, and this is another thing. Your 20s are your time to fuck up. Pardon my French. Parlez-vous français? It's your time to just enjoy life because you have time still. But don't forget to learn lessons along the way. You want to pick up what was a distraction and what wasn't throughout your 20s. So when you move forward in life in your 30s, you can see the difference and make better decisions. Life is just all about learning. One long learning process where you might think you have things figured out, but you never really will. However, you'll know what does and doesn't work best for you. And the only way to do that is by seeing what life has to offer. Number 8, people will forget your mistakes, but never your character. Guard it fiercely. Enough said. Number 9, you can party your nights away or build your future and not both. 10, ignored red flags in relationships will destroy you. Walk away early. 11, work with purpose feels like slow death. Work without purpose feels like slow death. Find meaning or leave. When someone trusts you, prove them right every time. Keep your word every single time. That's part of guarding your character. Number 13, a calm response to criticism is the only option. Calm will earn you respect. Rage won't. If you're angry, speak in person or stay silent. Never email, never message. You want an opportunity for a response in these types of moments. You want an opportunity for gauging body language. You want to see what the other person is really feeling when you're letting them know how you feel. 15 is gossip makes you look small. Don't shrink yourself. I like to think of a quote, successful people talk about things. Some people talk about people. 16 is asking for help shows strength, not weakness. People respect it. Swallowing your pride is a huge thing that people respect. Some people, Kendrick Lamar said it best. Kendrick Lamar said it best. Pride will kill a man. 17. Most conflict stems from confusion, not cruelty. Let's clear the air. What's going on here? What's going on here? 19. Hire people you admire and get out of their way. I wish I could say this to my boss. Drama doesn't fix itself. End it fast or it will spread. This is why I'm always the person who's willing to have the hard conversations. So many people try to skirt past conflict and move on without talking about things that need to be talked about. Things do need to be talked about. It makes a huge difference in moving forward in life. 21. Learn to teach yourself. Learn to teach yourself. Learn to teach yourself. Sometimes that's all you're going to have. 22. Life will surprise you. Build a plan that bends, doesn't break. There's no perfect plan. And this is where I came up with my ideology here. You can make a plan and gotta laugh at it. That's why I don't make plans. I have ideas. Because on a day-to-day basis, my plan would get thrown into the wash. But that doesn't mean that my days are gone. That doesn't mean I can't complete my ideas. That just means that I have to take a different path or different route to get there. And that's okay. 23. Energy is contagious. Spend time with people who light you up. Enthusiasm. It pushes you through life. Be enthusiastic about everything. 24. If you're frustrated, speak up because silence is a bomb. This rolls into other notations here. 25. Being bad at something isn't failure. Staying bad is. Improve. Learn from your lessons. You have to fail 100 times before you succeed once. Saying yes to everyone is saying no to yourself. Stop. I like how he wrote that. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. Work out as if your life depends on it. Well, quite frankly, it does. And if you're not 100%, how can you help anybody else get to 100%? We can't spend all of our focus on other people. Even though we are born to be servants, this is a huge thing. You have to take care of yourself at some point throughout the day. Check in with yourself. Give yourself some me time. That's what I always say about the gym. And it's the only time in your day where you'll have a chance to be 100% selfish. And that's okay. 28. Money comes and goes. Time doesn't. Spend it wisely. 29. Chronic complainers are dead weight. Drop them. This is my biggest pet peeve in life is people who complain and do nothing to fix it. And that's part of what propelled me into the position that I'm at work. I just got so sick and tired of listening to everybody say, somebody should do this, somebody should do that I became the somebody who was doing the things that people said somebody should do. Look at me now. That's what I get for not complaining. 30. Risks taken young will build courage for life. Don't hold back. Losing everything, even once, is the best courage teacher. The less you speak, the more people listen. Imperfect is a lie. Done is real. Start now. Number 30. Risks taken young will build courage for life. Don't hold back. Losing everything, even once, is the best courage teacher. And that's why I am the confident man that I am today at 31. In the land before time, in the studio that I'm sitting in the studio is actually a 1-bedroom apartment. The studio is just one section of the apartment. But what I'm saying is that in my life, I lost everything at one point. And it's taken me to now to grow to be where I wanted to be 5-6 years ago. And that was hard. It was hard. It was hard to lose everything. It was hard to build everything back. It was tough. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it was easy. I just pulled myself up by my bootstraps. No, I had help and I asked for help along the way and I got some I got some help sometimes and I didn't some other times, and that's okay. But what it taught me along the way helped me build myself into this person that I am today. I am who I say I am. I am who I show myself to be on a day-to-day basis. And I wouldn't be if it wasn't for the mistakes and trouble and risks that I took to get here. Did I think 8 years ago, 9 years ago, that this would be the life that I'm living now? No, I most certainly didn't. I thought I'd be still partying or in some sort of limelight or whatever. I don't even know what I was thinking at that time. But at that time, I was taking risks. And ultimately, they landed me in a position where I did lose everything. And I'm not afraid to lose everything again. That's the thing. That's the problem behind it. That's the confidence that I took from it. Like it's okay, because I know that everything is achievable and attainable all over again. It helps you build courage because you understand that sometimes in life, losing everything isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it's exactly what you need. I hope you never find yourself in a position that that's exactly what you need. But rest assured, even if it does, it will get better. Take it from me, somebody who's done it. Please like, subscribe on all platforms. Whatever platform you're listening to, leave a comment, a rating, a review. Subscribe. Get ready for the next week's episode. And I have to just say thanks. Thank you for popping in, listening to the pod. I don't know what happened, but over the last couple weeks, I've gained like this massive following on Snapchat. I've thank you all for checking in and seeing what's going on over on this side. I appreciate you peeping what I gotta put out and listening to what I gotta say. I hope you all hop into the pod and subscribe on the platform of your choice. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming. But other than that, as always, it's all love. This has been another episode of Bookmarks with Bump, and I appreciate your time and your ears. God bless.
Show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I've been riding, wave like I surf. I've been leaning in and out of work. I could show you what it's worth. Money to the ceiling. I started at the dirt. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I give what I got, I supply that fire. I supply that fire, man. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher now. I'm a night rider. Every time that I go out past midnight, I swear I get higher. Swear I gotta get higher, man.